And today I'm coming to you live to talk about doing hard things. So, this morning I had a conversation with one of my kids, and we were talking through a situation that's come up kind of over and over again. In other words, there's been some prompting of just a habit that probably needs to change. And so, as we talked through that process, of saying, I recognize that it seems like this topic has come up over and over and over again, and you keep saying that you want to change the habit, but here we are talking about it again. So we kind of broke that down. There was a lot of like highs and lows in the conversation. There were some tears. Like it was a big deal and a big serious thing. And mostly what I noticed is as we talked through the process of doing hard things, there were a couple of things that were really interesting about the conversation. And then I noticed how that mirrors a lot of times that we who are entrepreneur minded, we actually walk through these same things. So let's kind of talk through that just real quickly here. Number one is there's an inkling, or maybe a stomach ache, or something needs to change, and you know it, and I know it. My child knew it, but the changes weren't taking place, and so every time this person came back to the situation, it was like, oh, I'm feeling a nudge inside of me. Now, for those of us that are believers, that is typically, we just acknowledge that that's a nudge from the Holy Spirit. And so we talked about that. It was like, gosh, I feel like the Holy Spirit's leaning on you to be able to, for your good, because we're talking about going from not a destructive habit, but a habit that's good but happening too often, to maybe putting some healthy boundaries around that. So really just refining the habit, coming back to bringing life into alignment with where this person is called to. So as we're going through and doing that and talking through that, number one is there was an inkling of change, the stirring up inside this individual to be able to do something just a little bit different, not radically different, not, nothing was being done wrong. It was more like, hey, I feel like there's a need for a little bit of a shift. So that's where we started the conversation. Number two, what happened is this person went and sought wise counsel. We talked about it. We prayed about it. We broke it down into pieces and said, okay, what if you made this shift over here? And what if you made that shift over there? And we actually walked through the process of talking about possibilities, talking about options that would help this person to make some tiny adjustments, but would have a big impact in the long run. The third thing that we noticed in the conversation is I was getting the same inkling for this person. So I was getting the same stirring in my spirit that said, I feel like we need to talk about this. So it was interesting as we came together and started having that conversation together. It was like a whole new world of possibility happened. And don't we know, as entrepreneurs, sometimes we try to problem solve all on our own, and yet we have this stirring inside of us to go build a business or go spread our a good healthy message of help on social media, or be able to build a new product or service or something like that. But don't we know oftentimes, like, we don't do that, we don't follow that inkling. And so those are the first two things we talked about. There was a stirring inside, first of all. Second, we had this person sought out wise counsel, and we talked through options to be able to do something about it. The third is always the most important piece in that, although each piece is equally important at the same time. It was taking action and doing something different to get a different result. And so don't we know, those of us that are women of faith, we have an entrepreneurial mindset, we want to be able to do something slightly different. Maybe you're feeling a fear or frustration or overwhelm, and it's time for you to make a shift. And so if that's you, I want to invite you into the process of walking through this same kind of thing, recognizing that stirring that's inside of you, getting some wise counsel from somebody who's a couple of steps ahead of you, or a big step ahead of you, lots of steps ahead of you, and then being able to take action. And so if either of those three things are where you're at, and this is this message and this live stream actually resonates with you, then go ahead and click the link below and register for the event. We're going to talk about the 3 secrets to building a business. We're talking about shifting in our mindset. We're talking about shifting and taking action to move forward to be able to build our businesses. We're talking about how to make the best ever yet of 2022 by utilizing Q4 to launch us into 2023 in a whole new way. And so if that resonates with you, I just want to personally invite you. I'd love to be able to see your sweet face there and get you to know you a little bit better. So go ahead and register for the free live training. You have to register in order to attend, so you're going to want to do that ahead of time. So look forward to seeing y'all there. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post those in the chat. I'd be